Hey, hello, how are you guys? How are you today? I hope you're doing good. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I was actually ready here at my desk and I was I was watching a few different things that I want to talk to you today because today not only was a great day for me, I had two different trades. Both of them were uh, very good one. I didn't take the Tesla trade. I'm gonna talk about this today later, but I did take a very nice market structure based trade that got me 91% return. So very happy to be here with you today and let's talk about them. So let me just say hi. Hello Deepti. Hola Laura. Hello juniors. Ben. How are you? Hey Robert Tocayo. Hello Sina. Chris. Doing good. Thank you for asking. Hey Joseph. Hello Princess Jen. Hey Tassos. How you doing? Hola, Alex. Hey, this. Hello, Diane. I was talking. I was chatting with Alejandro this morning while I was in my trade, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, I chicken out on that trade because it was market structure totally. So this is kind of different of my usual playbook, but I was feeling confident of the price action and also with the headlines and how market has been behaving the past days, weeks. So I will talk about it in a few minutes. All right. So uh, just you know what, guys, I want to talk to you something before going into the trade review. Well, as you know, because we have been talking about this in the past few days, we are a global community. So we have people from different continents, we have people from different countries, we have people with different beliefs. So this weekend has been full of sensitive global headlines around military and geopolitical events. So I just want to kindly remind everyone of the purpose of this space. So let's keep our conversation focused on trading related topics only. All right. So it's a mutual respect for everyone, and let's just talk about what we have as a common interest. That's the market, right? So I know none of the ones that just say hi, and I mean, I know you are the usual viewers of this. You are very respectful and you are very supportive with others. I just wanted to just say it because sometimes we have people that they feel comfortable about having an opinion on this. And I just want to make sure that this space feels safe and comfortable for everyone. All right. So let's now continue. Hola Gabi. Hello Patrick. Right. So let's talk about Apple today. So do you guys want to talk about Apple? Sometimes it's like I don't know if you guys want to talk about Apple, but let's say that you want. Let's say that you want because this is a nice example of what I want to explain to you. So this morning, well, Apple has been trading around this 200 key area, right? So it has been trying to let me go to the 15-minute chart for Apple here. So it has been trying to build a base around these 200 or below these 200. And I was thinking last Friday, well, now this is the time for Apple to actually go for the next leg, maybe this 205, something like that. But well, Apple. So today, Apple failed to have continuation here on pre-market high, and it had a hard rejection here. So I want you to be aware of what happens with the rejections. I know we are not rejection traders, we are not bounce traders, but what we can have in our playbook are these kind of market structure based trades. Because here, guys, so you see, if we go like this, well, this doesn't say anything, but when we go like this, we have this uptrend, or this trend to the upside. But right here, we fail to actually reclaim this pre-market high and create a higher high. So here, guys, it's where we have or change of character, right? So right here is or change of character, and I want you to be aware of this kind of opportunities, because now that Apple cannot create higher highs, higher lows, and it's actually building lower highs, lower lows here. So this break and retest of this area here, of this opening price here, and right here to this circle, and I actually have a circle right here on SPY and QQQ, so you can all see what I'm talking about. It's failing to create new highs on QQQ, and SPY is actually, retesting, breaking and retesting this previous order block here. So this is looking like it's not going higher anymore. I'm not saying it's going lower, but I'm saying it's not going higher right here. So this is your best chance to take advantage of this kind of weakness, right? So we broke this placement, retest, opening price here, and indices were looking like they don't want to go higher anymore. Right here, can you see? So it's that retest and rejection 530 on QQQ, and it's this retest of this order block of the first or the previous high of the day on SPY, and also below this. Well, this trend line was not created yet, but you can see that here, this is actually it could be like a head and shoulders on the 1 minute. I'm not a pattern trader, but I mean, this kind of price action, and that's exactly what I explain to you every time. It's not about knowing the names of all of the patterns or knowing, like all of the patterns, but reading what's going on with the price action here, right? So it created a high, came back, retested this order block, new high, but here it's actually failing to create higher highs. So if it can go higher, well, it will go lower. I know this sounds kind of dumb, but it's different to know where price is going and than knowing where it doesn't want to go, right? Because here it could, consolidate for a bit and then, start trying again, building a base here. But now, right here, it's showing us that it's not going higher. So, I mean, the probabilities work here that it may go lower here. So that's exactly what happened here. And Apple offered these kind of opportunities here, right? Because now that created a lower low here, it's coming back, retesting this pivot low here, right here. And what was happening with the indices? Again, they are failing to create new highs. So right now, with this, at this point, 11 in the morning, at this point, now we have a very good idea that the indices are not going higher, right? Now the trend line is created for SPY, and it could be the same thing for QQQ. Maybe for QQQ it's a little bit more subtle than in SPY, but it's the same thing, right? They move very similar. So here in Apple, it was a second chance for going short from here. This is a very nice break, displacement and retest of what this pivot low here. And once we retest here, where it's supposed to go? Well, lower low, and then lower high, and then, well, lower low. And you know the drill: lower high, lower low. So this is market structure based opportunities. All right. So I wanted to talk about this because I know sometimes, like today, there were I didn't see too many opportunities following the indices, but and outside of the 5 minute opening range. But once the indices started having a trend or direction, they were respecting very nicely the the market structure. So you can always play market structure trades. Just you need to identify this, right? So for example, right here, it was a nice fail to create higher highs. So it came back, retested this area here, and look at this. This is not a random key level, right? I mean, this is not a random place on the chart. This is the opening price. So this is important, right? This is important. And right here on the indices, they were showing some weakness or showing some sort of sign that they are not going higher. So this is, context based, market structure based kind of trade. All right. So anyone took something in Apple this morning? If not, let's go to the next one. All right. AMD. So I took this AMD. For being honest, I really thought that AMD will go all the way, start looking for this gap on the upside, started to look for that gap. So I waited for this break and retest of the 5 minute opening range, this order block, and also this 132.11. What's this 132.11? Well, this 132.11, it's multiple touches key level on the daily chart, but also was kind of the top of this range, right? It was the top of this channel for the previous week. So yeah, I was thinking that we will have some continuation here to the upside. So I entered on this 1017 candle. 1017 candle. And what you can see on the indices, well, they were a few candles away from retesting that order block on both indices, and they were on their way to create higher highs. So here I enter into this position. I set my stop loss right here at the bottom of this candle here, and also this was this order block, right? This was the candle wick of this 947. So this was kind of an area, right? The area of this 132.11 key level. So I set my stop loss right here. And well, after this fail and it came all the way down, so I exit my trade right here, 1031. So that was my first trade. It was a paper cut, like less than 10%, loss. I don't remember what. Let me tell you. I took AMD 133 calls right here. It was 132.50, around 132.50. I took 133 calls, but it failed. It failed. Um, okay. Neto, there was an entry at retest of Tuesday high. Were you looking at that? Where? Tuesday high. This one. What's this? 130.70. Like this one. Well, this is a good one. This is a good one. Yeah. I don't know. The only thing with this is, yes, the indies. Well, this is a very good one. Actually, no, this is a very good one. This is a nice break and retest of this last Tuesday. Yeah, last Tuesday, last week Tuesday high. And what were the indices doing? Well, they were pushing higher. They were pushing higher. Yeah, maybe I don't know. Like, this is right in the middle of the 5 minute opening range. Can you see this? This is right in the middle of the 5 minute opening range. So I'm not sure if I will take this, but yeah, I mean, I see what you said. I mean, this is a very. I mean, this key level was already here, right? This key level was already here. This 131.15. What is this? I don't know why I set this key level here. But here, yeah, I mean, this is a good break and retest of this key level. It just, I will prefer, the break of this 132.11. I was actually waiting for the break of this 132.11 because this has been, look, this was kind of previous day high, but also on the daily chart, this key level has been very popular, let's say. So this was the first trade that I took, and it failed, and that's fine. I mean, and that's fine because I think that my entry was solid, right? I mean, indices were pushing higher. This was a break and retest of a relevant key level on the daily chart, previous high of the day. So I think this entry was solid. It just didn't work. So the important thing here is how you manage your risk. So I had my stop loss right here at the bottom of this candle. And well, that's exactly what I did. I closed my trade here, 1031 or 1032. I actually think that it was this 1031 because once we broke this 132.11, yeah, I knew that this was gonna fail. And after this failed, this is what I wanted to explain, right? So here it couldn't have a higher high, so this is a lower high. And now that we have a lower high, what are we expecting, guys? So if this was the previous low, all right, well, now we have a lower low. And then we have this rejection bound or reaction here on this 131.15. And what do you know? Reaction right here, pre-market high. And something that I wanted to show you is this circle. What is happening at this circle on the indices? Well, this is the top of the trend, right? So this is the top of this is the first sign that we are actually going lower on SPY, and it was rejecting a key level on QQQ. So here it's this kind of, oh well, this didn't work to the upside. What about to the downside? And I'm not saying this is revenge trading. It's just like, okay, well, market structure. What is market structure telling me here? So we had this lower low, and then we expect a lower high. For being honest, I will expect this lower low. I'm sorry, this lower high a bit higher, like something like this 5 minute opening range high, but it came for this pre-market high. So now that we have a lower high, what are we expecting, guys? Lower low, right? Lower low. And now, well, lower high, and then, well, lower low, and you know the drill. So this is the kind of move that once the indices start showing you some sort of trend direction, you can actually follow this. Again, I know this is different to our usual playbook, but I just want you to be aware of these kind of opportunities, right? So if this move is not working to the upside and you are still looking for context on the indices and the indices are going lower, well, you can look for market structure and look for opportunities. All right. So let me go to the chat. And Sina took 953 here. This is the previous Tuesday high. Key level 130.67. Yeah, something like that. That was a good one. EA, hi Neto, why do you have the auto marking of the? Can you share? Well, it's because I'm one of the testers. That's why. This is the Traders Lab. This is the Traders Lab tool. But I've been testing it since forever. I'm one of the Minas friends that I've been testing it and giving ideas about it. So that's why. But it's gonna be available soon. I know it's taking longer than expected, but well, you know the coaches, they are very perfectionist and they want to provide the most value. So they don't want to release it until it's like super fine tuned. So please be patient with it. It's gonna be available like really soon. Dipti, I took AMD as well. Stop out, something like this. Dipti, like the same one. Lauris, I took AMD 132 calls, entry 940. 940. 940. What you were looking, Laura, here? What you were looking here? Like this break immediate retest of pre-market high? 24 bucks. Well, that's something. That's lunch. Lunch money. Free lunch for FOMO. No, it's a bad entry. Yeah. That's what I thought. Yeah, you needed some more displacement here. Um, Sven, you took the same AMD trade. I'm sorry, Sven. Casey, Tesla sold early. We are gonna talk about Tesla. The retest that Human Torch said it's a 5 discount from the last big push. I don't know how to place Fibonacci's. I mean, I actually don't believe on them, but that's another story. That's another story. If you guys are using Fibonacci levels and you are making money out of them, that's the most important thing. Gabi, Neto, I'm very insecure about entering trades that are immediate retest, as has happened with the QQQ and SPY indices. Yeah, well, don't take immediate retest. Don't take immediate retest, Gabi. Wait for the break, displacement, and retest. Wait for displacement. Wait for displacement. Especially on the indices, wait for displacement because indices are kind of, they are more algorithmic. So sometimes they create these bases here and it's just for having another leg on the move. So you should be waiting for displacement. Okay. Why do you have is the same thing? Deep TL, Laura, FOMO, Tasos. Neto, can you give me some tips about stock trading and scaling? You love FIBO, Laura. All right. So, hey, Tasos. Well, I mean, I don't know what to say about stock trading. I never went into stock trading. I was more like a long-term investor. So probably I will say something that I has been working for me in my plans for options. It's to know the how you call them a few weeks ago, like the average average true range. So once we have a break and retest of one name and you can actually identify a trend on it, I will I will try to find the average true range so you can aim to those levels. And I mean, I know this is not perfect because usually they don't hit, to the T, but you have guidance, right? You have some guidance on how large the move can be, right? And I think I don't know, Tassos. I think that will be my my best advice. But I don't have too much to share because I'm not a stock trader. So, but probably I will do that, and that's exactly what I do when I'm managing a position on my long term. It's like I'm watching the 4 hour chart or the daily chart, and it's like, well, this thing, especially when I need money, it's like, oh, which one should I cut right now? And I just go to the average true range and see which one it's closer. So that's probably the one that is not moving anymore for the day, and that's how I choose them. Um, AMG, what do you think about previous day high retests on Microsoft? Let's talk about Microsoft in a second. You're very welcome, Tassos. All right. So that was AMD. That was my first trade on the day. It was a loss. And let's talk about Amazon here. What Amazon. I told you guys that I don't like Amazon until we break 216. I actually have my alarm here to 1550 because once we go this direction, now I'm gonna believe Amazon. But right now, look right here, 216, 216, 216, or 205. If we are going lower than this, 205 may be my area of interest. 216, 205. I'm not sure that this. Look at this. So I'm not sure if this 202 is gonna hold, but if we break this 205, I think we are gonna revisit this daily gap here. So for me, I'm not trading Amazon on these days, but I was watching this, and this is a break and retest of opening price previous day close, right? Opening price previous day close, and also this is a break and retest of pre-market low. Again, I know we don't use lower levels for a bounce or higher levels for rejections, but look at this. This is market structure playing again. So once you find your bottom, you start building higher highs, higher lows. So here you already have your change of character, right? And right here on this circle, what's going on the indices? Breaking out, new high of the day, right here, right here. So what are you expecting? Higher high, right? So well, this actually went super high, right? But This was the very first opportunity. This was the very first opportunity on a relevant key level, 1 minute opening range, low. Yeah, this is the 1 minute opening range, low. And this is the pre-market low. So we had this break, reclaim, displacement, retest with market structure and indices pushing higher. So this is your very first opportunity here. Can you see, guys, why I'm saying this entry here? Market structure based, let's say something like this. Market structure based. So now we are recovering here. And what were the indices doing? Pushing higher right here. Look at this. This is the new high of the day for SPY. It was the new high of the day for QQQ. Yeah. So this is market structure. And this is not a random area. This is pre-market low. This is the 1 minute opening range low. So this reclaim of these key levels, it's not a coincidence, right? It's not a coincidence. So there's liquidity right here. So with this break, it was expected this reaction, right? Look at this. It was resistance, turn support, and continuation. All right. So today was the day where the indices were doing something different than some of the names. But remember, indices are a picture of the market as a whole, and the names, they most of the times are following the market, right? So that's why we try to find relative strength and relative weakness. But once you have market structure on your names, that's something that you should follow. That's something that you could follow, even if, like here, this is inside of the 5 minute opening range. I know this is inside of the 1 minute. This is actually the very 50% of the 5 minute opening range. But look at this. We have market structure. We have indices pushing on the same direction. So this could be a nice opportunity here. How I will try this opportunity here? Well, it's one candle holding, two candles holding, three candles holding, four candle going higher. So now I have defined my risk is right here at the bottom of these candles, right? And what will be my target? Well, maybe high of the day. This will be a 1 to 3.9 risk reward ratio trade. This is very nice. This is very nice. Hey, Neto, I will be waiting for opening price. Okay, opening price. This is a 1 to 3 risk reward ratio trade. Look at this. Look at this. And again, we are aiming to very reachable key levels here, following market structure. So you trim your position here, and what are you expecting here? Well, maybe you were expecting a retest on this area, on this order block, on this previous pivot high. So if you had something like this, well, you can manage your position right here if it breaks. But if it keeps market structure like this one that is doing right here, it broke opening price, retested, and had continuation. So that was the second trade that I will be watching here, right? This is the break and retest of what? Opening price. Opening price, previous day close, this daily gap. It's a very small daily gap. So if you have a chance to open your position right here, and you were aiming to high of the day, the body of high of the day, this was a 1 to 2.5 risk reward ratio trade. And what were the indices doing right here? Break and retest, previous high of the day, and order block. So this was a very nice opportunity here. Break and retest exactly like the indices on key levels to the upside. Okay, well, it didn't work. It didn't have too much of continuation. Well, but right here, high of the day, it was a 1 to 2.5. So this was a nice trade. Even if it didn't have continuation, if you cut, I don't know, 50% your position right here, I mean, you can manage this easily, right? Easily, because it's look at the price action here. And what were the indices doing? Rejecting key levels. Rejecting key levels. So right here, you have time to manage your position, but you have to take profits right here, where high of the day. All right, so that was everything for Amazon. Let's take this example on Nvidia. Okay, so Nvidia here. So we have this opening candle right here, and we created an order block. Look at this. We created an order block right here, with the candle wick of this second candle, right? So this was the first, let's say this was the first high of the day, all right? So later on the day, what happened here? Again, market structure, guys. Market structure, all right? So right here, what's going on right here? Break, displacement, retest of what? This is the 5-minute opening range, but this is the order block of the 5-minute opening range. So we held this key level here, or this area here. So one rejection, well, from here, one rejection, two rejections, three rejections, four rejections. So if you open your position right here, what were the indices doing? Breaking out, pushing higher. So here, this is a very good entry point here. And what are you expecting? Higher highs. So what you got? Higher highs here. And then higher lows. But look at this, right here, you are failing to have higher highs. So here, it's when the change of structure happens, right? Right here. This is where the change of character, I'm sorry. This is where your change of character happens, right? Right here. And what is happening right here? Well, that's the very top of the trend on the indices. So now you failed to create higher highs. And now you are watching the indices going lower. So you start managing your position right here, right? You start managing. What happened to Nvidia today? Look at this, from 142 to 145 in a few minutes. So anyone took Nvidia today? Dion. Oh, Chris Sina. Nvidia took 10 a.m. 10 a.m. That's exactly this trade. Previous month high, some reaction in 2 first minutes of it. Yeah, very good. So we saw the same thing, Sina. Chris, I took small size Nvidia 1012 right here. Nice one. Dion, I took Nvidia 1012. It was a loss. And after that, puts 1037. 1037. Why here? I will be waiting. Let me tell you, Dion, and this is just my opinion. I mean, this is not textbook or playbook, but I will be waiting. Yes, this was a lower high, something like this. But I will be waiting for the next break and retest of this trend line. Not just this, not just this. But I understand what you tried. I understand what you tried. You said 1037? 1037. Yeah, right here. 1037. 1037. Right here. And what you were expecting, at least this pivot low, right? You said you were break even? Yeah, well, you had a lot of chances to actually manage your position here. 1012 is decent entry based on context. 1012 is this one? No, 1012. Yeah, I think it was a good entry. It was higher low. It was a higher low. And what were the indices doing? Having a retest and reaction on that order block. It's right there on those circles. You know how useful those circles are. So all right. So yeah, 1012. I will take this 1012 also. I will take then this 1012 for sure. Yeah, based on context on the indices, based on context right here. I mean, it was a higher low, so yeah, that was a good entry. It was just unfortunate that you didn't have continuation, but yes, it was a good entry. All right, so let's go to Tesla, guys. This was the trade of the day, of the week, and maybe of the month. So right here. So let's go to the higher time frame here with Tesla, right? So this had two different things. So it had news because yesterday they had a very successful launch of this the robot taxi. So they had news, and also on the higher time frame, we have been talking about this 336, and I actually had my Tesla right here. Can you see 336 right here, 336 Tesla crossing 336. So this was on my watch list, but guys, contracts were crazy expensive. I mean, I was trying to buy 340 calls and they were like $8. So I just skip. Sometimes when I'm, especially on Mondays, I'm trying to stay on the $1, $2 range for my contracts. But this was amazing. This was amazing. So the first entry here, in my opinion, is this reclaim of previous day high that was also previous week high, this 332.36. It was a nice break and retest right here. And what was happening with the indices? Pushing higher, pushing high. After this dip on the first candles, look at this reaction right here on this candle, 936. 936 candle, break, displacement and retest, previous day high, previous week high. This was a very nice one. It was too early for me, so I wouldn't be thinking on this. But what about this 941? Well, with this 941 retesting again and reclaiming this key level here, I may think more on this than the previous one. All right. So just two different ways to approach this. I'm sorry. So this was the first one. 936, nice break, displacement, retest, reaction on this key level. Look at this first. Look at this first candle wick. Nice reaction here. So this was the very first entry here, 936. But if you waited to this 941, you have less of a risk because now you are watching this candle here, not this one. Or even if you were looking at this one, it was less risk than the previous one, right? So, and what you were watching here, well, I will be watching at least the break of this white box. This white box has been support and resistance for some weeks now. And well, not only here, right? From months ago, right? Even from last year, right? So this white box was a strong key area. So I will be saying like, okay, well, let's wait for the break of this area here, just as it happened, right? So you have two different opportunities right here. And then, hey Neto, I just missed those ones because I was waiting for something more into my trading window time. All right. Well, this is the break, displacement, and retest of the 5-minute opening range. And what were the indices doing? Well, they were right there on the top of the range. They were breaking out to the upside. So this was a very nice break and retest of the 5-minute opening range. So if you open your position right here on the second candle on direction to the highs, so your risk will be, well, it could be two different things. First, this bottom of this retesting candle, but for being honest, this is just too small. I will be on the bottom of this candle that was the one that broke the level here. So you have some room for your trade to breathe. And then I will be looking for what? Well, not only for the end of this white box, because we are watching good price action here, but maybe I will be looking for, let's say, 342.50. Why? Because that's the next strike, right? That's the next strike. So if you were looking for this 342.50 strike, it was a 1 to 3 point something risk reward ratio trade. Hey Neto, I completely missed this. Is there any other chance to enter here? Well, let's see at the indices and let's see price action here. Well, right here we had another break and retest of high of the day. And what was happening with the indices? Well, again, they were having good reaction on that order block here and looking like they wanted to push higher. So this was another entry, 10:15, 45 minutes from market open. Even with this, look at this strength, right? Look at all this strength. So right here, you open your position here. Where's your risk? Your risk is at the bottom of these candles here, right? Or this order block, let's say this order block here, all right? So you have your risk here, and what are you aiming now? Well, at least 350. Well, 350, it's the next round number, side number, strike number, and this is a 1 to 2.8 risk reward ratio trade. And also you have one last chance, and probably was not the last one, but let's say into our trading time window here. So you had this break, displacement, and retest of this order block here. Where is this order block here? 350. All right, so it's a break and retest, order block, high of the day, psych number, strike number, and well, what are you doing here? Well, let's look for the 355. 355, it was a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio trade. Okay, I got 355 here. What about 355.50? Look at this. 355.50 right here. So, do you see how I'm moving my targets once price starts moving with market structure, because here, guys, this is what I want you to be aware here. It's market structure textbook, all right? Market structure textbook here. Do you see? Market structure textbook here. All right, let me go to the chat. Um, is there any reason you stay on the $1-2 range on Mondays? Not only on Mondays, Chris. I try to be there because uh, I don't know. Like sometimes it's harder for me to manage a Tesla trade if I only take like 5 contracts, because they are uh, $10 or yeah. So I try to stay on the $5,000-7,000 trade. So when they are that expensive, I don't know. It's something that I don't like. So I just prefer to switch to Nvidia, to AMD, Amazon, even SPY and QQQ. When you are taking 1 or 2 days out for expiration, they are usually on the $1-2 range. So I feel more comfortable, having more contracts, and probably that's a dumb thing, but it's my preference. Uh, Especially because I don't focus on how many contracts I buy. It's always the fixed dollar amount. But I don't feel comfortable just with 4 contracts. So especially because on my style, once I hit my targets, it's like I don't know, like if I got I don't know, like 20 contracts and I'm already out, I don't know, like 14, 15 contracts. When I hit my main target, I will be trying to, let the runners run, but I'm not selling all of them. I am like, okay, well, I'm gonna sell 1 contract here and another contract right here and another. So I'm just, managing my trade differently with my runners, only with my runners. So it's like I don't feel comfortable if I only have 4 or 5 contracts with Tesla, because I can't manage my runners as I like. That's it. Mr. Hans, why are expensive contracts bad? They are not bad. They are not bad. No, no, no. They are not bad. I never said they are bad, Mr. Hans. It's just it's just preference, right? I know there's a lot of people that take uh, same, like if Tesla is trading right here 344.80, they take 342.50 calls because they prefer to be in the money, right? So I mean, there's nothing wrong with taking expensive contracts. Uh, what I just said is that I don't like to have too few of contracts, because then I can't manage my positions the way I like. Uh, Tokayo took Tesla with open of 952. 952. Very nice. Break and retest, 5-minute opening range. So you open here. Just this 952, watch out, because it was high of the day. But I mean, you had news, you had higher time frame thesis. Yeah, that was very good one. Sven 953. Well, this Sven, my opinion, is chasing. All right, health to 1001. Very good. Only 1 contract. Yeah. Neto, could you please explain bar by bar and maybe use Tesla as an example? Yeah. Okay. So for example, here, I'm gonna delete this arrow here. So let's say, Chris, that you hit your 350 target and you are only managing your position, and you say, okay, well, let's do it bar by bar. All right. So right here, you are waiting for a candle to close below your previous candle. All right. So right here, for example, this is closing inside the previous candle. So you are holding your position. Here, it's actually going higher. So that's fine. This one, it's closing inside of this candle. This is closing inside the previous candle. This one is closing below this candle. So this is the candle where you close your position. All right. So that's how bar by bar works. When the candles here close below your previous one. All right. Uh, Said, what strategy do you use? The break and retest. Break and retest, Said. So we wait for the break, displacement, and retest of relevant key levels like previous day high and low, pre-market high and low, or the 5-minute opening range, or like this. These are order blocks, usually on relevant key levels or intraday price levels like this one. This was the high of the day, so this is an order block created on high of the day. And this one is the one candle rule, that it's basically where price takes a little bit more time to move away because there were a lot of orders here. And if you look at this order block here, it was 350, so it was kind of expected that there will be a lot of orders right here, right? So if you guys, Tesla strike price is quite expensive. Yeah. If you guys took today Tesla and you took it by yourself, congratulations, guys. If you guys took Tesla today following one of the coaches and you understood what you were doing, congratulations, guys. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong following someone else's plan if you completely understand it. All right. So there's no chance. It's not allowed on this community here. All right. Let's make the deal, guys. It's not allowed to blindly following someone else's trade. All right. But if you are taking someone's word as context, as reference, as confirmation, that's fine. There's nothing wrong there. We all are learning, and if we need more confluences or more confirmation, that's fine. But just make sure that you understand what you are doing and never, never, never blind follow anyone. Right? So that was all that I had for you guys today. Oh well, I was gonna explain my I had a trade on SPY, but someone asked me about Microsoft. MG, what do you think about previous day high retest trade on Microsoft? Previous day high. Oof. Oh my gosh, what happened with Microsoft? Are they supplying to military or something? Well, MG, previous day high is this 483. So if you can see here, there's no break and retest of this key level. Not sure if you were saying about a different key level here. Anyone else ask me about Microsoft? I'm reading the chat, guys. Give me 1 second. Gabby, how many contracts I buy? I don't have a fixed number of contracts, Gabby. I usually try to trade between $5,000 and $7,000 trade, right? So I stick to the dollar amount instead of the number of contracts. Neto, did you go over QQQ? No, I know. So MG, so what were you looking on Microsoft, my friend? Previous day high is this 483.46, but there was no break and retest of it. You're very welcome, Gabi. Sven, I listen to pre-market prep from JDub. After that, I follow my own plan. That's very good. That's very good, Sven. That's very good. So something for you, Sven. I know you are learning. I know you are on this curve. So make sure that you journal once you watch the pre-market prep and then you prepare your own plan. At the end of the day, journal how well your plans work, and not only the ones that you took, but if you have different plans for different names, just watch how well they actually work, or if they didn't, right? And if you can go deeper on the analysis, like, oh well, something happened with a PMI FOMC, or we had some news from Trump, or whatever. So try to journal how well your plans actually develop or work out. All right. Um, all right. So let me go here, guys. Give me 1 second. Right here. Okay. So I was watching this. All right. So we have a spy trying to create higher highs, but it couldn't, right here. So we start having reaction where order block here, and now we are having lower lows. And here it tried, but it failed because we created this trend line. This trend line is until we have these ones, right? But this 597.59, 597.59, it was struggling here. Rejection, 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 failed, rejection. So I took my trade. Let me tell you when. Oh, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. But I think it was. Oh, it was 11:12 right here. Okay. So I took my trade right here on this candle here, and I was having this order block as my stop, and I was looking first for this. This is the pivot low, but look at the price action right here. Look at the price action right here. So I started moving my targets. So here broke, then I move it here, broke, retest, then I move it here to 595, and then I was, well, it's a lie. I closed my trade right here. I think on this one. Yeah. Because I was watching all these reactions here on this order block or consolidation area. So I was looking all these as a demand. So I actually closed my position right here, and it was a banger. It was a 100% win right here. But the most important thing that I want you to see here is market structure, right? Right here. this is lower than this, and then this is lower. Retest of this area here, then break. Retest of what? This area here, and then break. Retest of what? This area here, and then break. So, well, you already understood what, right? So if guys, if you are trading market structure and you already know how to trade the break and retest, that's your ticket for success, guys. That's your ticket for success. If you already know how to trade the break and retest, market structure trades are the easiest thing for you. So I'm not saying that you should jump into it, but give it a try. Maybe forward test or back test something. But that this is something that I do very often. Once I have a good trade on a tech name or a valid trade on a tech name, the next thing that I do, instead of looking for a second trade on tech names, if I see this kind of price action on the indices, I prefer to go with a index trade based on market structure. And as you can see here, I was marking a lot of things, right? Key level here, order block, key level here, 5-minute opening range, key level here, previous day close or today's open. No, this was previous day close, key level here. For example, here I was watching these consolidations. So as you can see, these intraday price levels are drawn, right, to manage my position. So right here on this 100% contracts, I was just holding like 10% of my trade. Most of it was on this pivot low. Like 50% was here and 40% was between this and this, right? You traded after 1040? Yeah. But it was, again, this is different because this is the indices, not the names, and indices have, their own life. I'm trying to analyze plan afterwards. Thank you, Neto. You're welcome, Sven. That's just experience share. I learned a lot when I was actually comparing what happened to my plans versus the real thing. Neto, we could enter the indices when we see the order blocks like the SPY 936, 949. 936, 949. Let me tell you this. I'm not gonna tell you what to do, Gabby, but on indices, I only trade market structure. I don't have any other edge on here. So I focus on the market structure because it's very similar to the break and retest, so I can actually manage my risk well. Because all of my trading approach is based on managing my risk and not on the potential reward. I mean, it's my potential reward is right after knowing my risk, right? Neto, on your QQQ and SPY bottom left table, do you use it to identify relative strength and weakness of? Yes. Yeah. Usually, let me tell you what I do. So usually, at the very beginning of the market open, I only have this chart here. It's SPY and QQQ, and I wait 10 to 15 minutes for the indices to show me some sort of direction or trend. So I'm not watching the other charts because then I start to get anxious and like FOMO starts kicking in. So I'm just watching the indices. I'm just watching the indices. But I keep this table here for understanding if the market is going higher. Well, I'm starting to look at the ones with relative strength. If the markets are going lower, I'm looking for the ones with the relative weakness. So this is just my reference for when I go from this to this. This is my watch list. I already know what to expect or what should I be looking at, right? So I don't start looking once the trend is created on the indices. I already have an idea. Um, Patrick, yes. Don't blame me. Alex, do you use confluences when trading indices? I don't. It's completely based on market structure. DN, Neto, do you trade options or futures on indices? No, I'm a DN. I use options, same day expiration or next day expiration. Um, all right. So, well, that's it, guys. Thank you very much for joining. You know the drill. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for all of you that already subscribed to the channel. We are 427 subscribers, and I can't thank you enough. So thank you very much. I'm gonna say it every time that you join. For all the people that watch these videos recorded, thank you very much, guys. I really read your comments on the videos and I reply to all of them. So if you have any question, if you want to have any feedback from one of your trades or whatever, just leave it on the messages. And well, you see, I reply to all of them. I reply to all of them. So thank you thank you, Sina, for 28. Thank you very much. All right, guys. So that was all for today. If you are on Traders Lab, I'll see you in 2 hours or something like that. If you are not, I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, guys. Bye.